Hello and welcome. If you're a care home manager, you know that preparing for a CQC inspection can feel pretty overwhelming. Well, this explainer is all about cutting through that noise and giving you a really clear, practical guide to what truly matters when that inspector walks through your door. So let's just dive right in with the single most important question you need to ask yourself. Because honestly, your entire approach to the inspection really hinges on the answer to this. Getting this right changes everything. The biggest misconception out there is that inspectors are on some kind of hunt for flawless paperwork and a completely clean slate with zero incidents. They're not. What they're really looking for is a culture of self-awareness. They want to see a home that truly knows itself, knows its strengths, and just as importantly, knows its weaknesses, and can show how it's actively working to get better. At the end of the day, every single thing they do, every observation they make, every person they talk to, every document they look at, it all just boils down to this one fundamental question. This is the lens through which they will see your entire service. Okay, so how do they actually go about answering that huge question? Well, the CQC gives us a really clear structure for their inspections, and it's all built around 5 key questions. Now, it's really important to think of these 5 questions not as some kind of tick box exercise, but more like a roadmap for the entire inspection. Everything the inspector looks at, from your medication charts to your staff culture, is going to fit into one of these 5 areas. Right, let's break these down, and we're going to start with safe and effective. We're focusing on these 2 first because, let's be honest, statistically, this is where care homes most often trip up and fall short of getting that good rating. The safe domain is where most requires improvement ratings are actually given out. But here's the thing. Inspectors aren't just looking for recorded incidents. What they really want to see is what happened after. Did you look into it? Did you find the root cause? And most importantly, what did you learn and what have you changed to stop it from happening again? Now, moving on to the effective domain, inspectors see care plans with vague, task-based notes like this all the time. And for them, this is a massive red flag. Absolutely nothing, right? And that is exactly the point. An effective care plan is not about the task. It's about the person. It should reflect their preferences, their history, their goals, maybe even written in their own words. It tells the story of an individual, not just a checklist item. Okay, next up are caring and responsive. These 2 domains are all about the quality of human connection and how you and your team actually interact with the people you care for. This is so true. You simply cannot stage a genuinely caring culture on inspection day. In fact, many inspectors say they can get a feel for it within the first hour. They're watching how staff talk to residents, and just as importantly, how they talk about residents when they think no one's listening. As you can see here, caring really is found in all the small details. It's about dignity, respect, and choice. Simple things, like using a person's name or taking a moment to sit down at their level when you talk to them. Those are powerful, direct signs of a truly caring culture. Responsive is all about proving you listen and you adapt. An inspector will be looking for evidence of what they call closed feedback loops. So if a resident makes a suggestion, or say a complaint, do they actually see a change happen because of it? Or does it just get written down in some meeting minutes and then completely forgotten? And that brings us to the final domain, which actually has the biggest influence on your overall rating. This is the one that pulls everything together, and it's the one that's most directly about you, the manager. This is so important to understand. When an inspector sees your staff openly talking about near misses or things that have gone wrong, they don't see that as a sign of failure. In fact, they see it as one of the strongest possible signals of a confident, transparent, and well-led home that is truly committed to learning and improving. And this really gets to the heart of it all. The jump from being a good home to an outstanding one isn't about doing more paperwork. It's about a fundamental shift in your thinking, away from a mindset of just compliance and towards a deep-rooted culture of always trying to improve. This quote really captures the essence of what CQC inspectors are looking for when they award that outstanding rating. It's that proactive, that passionate drive to be better, not just for the inspection, but for the residents every single day. So there you have it. You now have the framework. You understand the inspector's mindset across all 5 of those domains, and you know what that outstanding culture really looks like in practice. But of course, understanding the framework is really only half the battle, isn't it? The real challenge on the day is having the right evidence right there at your fingertips to actually demonstrate how your service meets and even exceeds all of these standards. And to put all of these insights into practice, you really need the right tools. The full, comprehensive CQC handbook is packed with detailed evidence checklists, common mistakes you want to avoid, and even model answers to inspector questions. You can get your copy today at goodtooutstanding.co.uk.